No, I can't.
It's Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agorapulse. With special guest, Ann Handley. Discussing this week's hottest topics and latest developments in social media marketing. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to Social Pulse Weekly, your all-in-one social media show where we have an expert interview every week, and I'm super excited about this interview we're going to have today. We talk about the latest social media news, and we have fun with trivia. Now, on the back end of this is the godfather of Agorapulse, Mr. Mike Alton. Unfortunately, you're not going to see his face or probably not hear him, but he may surprise us and pop in. But welcome, everyone, and we want to see how you guys are doing. This is a conversation, a two-way conversation, so we want to see what's going on, how your week has been. I don't know about you guys, but my week has been just kind of a little crazy. It's the last full week of November if you live in the U.S., because then next week is Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. So most of us take off at least a couple of days, if not the whole week. So I've been hustling, trying to get stuff done. But I want to see where you guys are from, where you live, your biggest achievement of the week. And when we bring in our amazing guest on the show, ask your questions. If you have any questions at all, you can ask them. And we also have our amazing show sponsor this week, the incredible Instagram expert, Miss Jen Herman. So we have two authors on the show today, which is amazing. So Jen Herman is our show sponsor. She's going to be in the comments kind of asking questions and helping to answer some questions. And I'm going to show you her book. So this is the one she just came out with, Instagram for Dummies. And if you have any questions about Instagram at all, not quite sure how to use it, you need to get this book. It is amazing. And our amazing guest, who is about to join us here in a minute or so, wrote this incredible book that everybody writes. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't consider myself a writer. Grammar is not my thing at all. But she just kind of talks about, like, when you're writing content, social media, everything, we're all writers. And so she kind of just makes you feel better about yourself. And one thing I have to show you, this is why Ann Handley is so amazing. She customized my book for me. And since I'm a meteorologist, she kind of made it weather related, which is so awesome. So anyway, our amazing guest is Ann Handley. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about her. If you have not seen her on stage, you definitely need to go to a conference where she's speaking. You need to get her books. You need to do it all. And you need to follow her on social, because she's just going to make your life so much better. So especially like her Instagram, like she has such an amazing smile, and that's infectious, and it's just, you're going to see her feed and it's going to make you happy. But anyway, Ann Handley is a Wall Street Journal best-selling author. She speaks globally around the world and actually has been on some pretty cool trips, which I'm going to ask you about, Ann, in just a second. But she helps businesses with storytelling and a different way of thinking when it comes to marketing and sustainable success. So you're not just stressed out and just randomly posting all the time. You actually have a strategy. IBM named her one of the 7 people shaping modern marketing, which is so true. She's also the chief content officer at Marketing Profs, a LinkedIn influencer, a keynote speaker, and best of all, she's a mom. She's a dog person. I'm a dog person. And she's a writer. And without further ado, Ann, come and join us on the show. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, Ann, you're amazing. You're so wonderful. And like, seriously, for those of you that don't know Ann, she's just a ball of energy, a ball of happiness. She's so enthusiastic and engaging on stage. And the amazing thing about you, Ann, is there are a lot of speakers that give the same presentation over and over again and don't like really tweak it or tailor it, but you do. And on top of that, the outfits you wear are amazing. Her style is like fantastic. You guys really need to just kind of stalk Ann right now while you're listening to this interview and just see all the cool outfits that she's worn. Like, she truly personalizes everything when she speaks, and she's just a good human being. So like, why could you not love Ann? I'm just saying that. So Ann, how are you today?
I'm good. This is like, I'm just overwhelmed. So thank you. So generous. I don't know. I don't know what to say after that, but thank you so much. It's
Oh
really
my
nice
God,
of
you're
you.
welcome. So, how has your week been? Has it been
It's
kind
good.
of
Yeah,
crazy?
it's
Mine's
good.
been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of winding down the end of the month. It feels like we're rolling into the holidays in the U.S., but actually internationally too, in a lot of places. So yeah, it's good. It's just it feels like it's got that momentum going. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Oh, see, look at, and this is
we
why
have.
we have the Godfather before
Oh,
post. We're looking at how just
somebody's doing.
amazing you are. And so Jen Herman, she's like, your style is on point. So true. Bella Vasta, her outfits are awesome. This is all 1,000% true. Bella says, hey, Ann. Brian Fanzo says, hi. Scott Ayers says, great book. And Scott Ayers is our content scientist. He had his
Oh,
live show on Wednesday. So
wow.
we've got so many people
Content
here.
scientists. Yeah,
Yeah, we've
that's
got Saz, we've got Diego joining us. So let us know where you're joining us from. Carrie says, looks like Saturday Night Live. Carrie, we totally like sort of stole Saturday Night Live's feel of the intro of the show. So I'm glad you like that. Jeff C is with us. So many people. So guys,
yeah, a lot of friends. This is great.
I know this is so awesome. So you
You
guys,
know, I don't do Facebook Lives very often. Only for you, Jen.
oh my God.
No,
Well, thank
seriously.
you. No, Anne, I love
Yeah.
this. And
I
you're
can count on one hand the number of times I've been on, well, not just Facebook Live, but Facebook period this year because I've sort of drifted away from it. So,
yeah.
but you asked and I thought, you know what? I love you, so I'm going to do this.
And look
So,
at Brian says Anne is truly a visionary.
ah,
This is so true. That yes,
I
you
really
really
should do these
are.
more often because this seems like it's really good for my self-esteem right now.
No, it
Well,
turns into a love fest because everybody loves you, and you need to understand how many people love you. And one thing, guys. So we were talking, having our pre-show meeting,
mm,
and I was just telling Anne how much I love like her name or what we call like a news lower third. It says, "Hi, it's Anne." Like it's instantly a conversation starter rather than like Jennifer Watson over here. And, that she says, "Hi, it's Anne," which is so cool, which I absolutely love, which just shows like how awesome of a person you are.
ah.
So, Anne, like you have this amazing background, and I just want to know how you got involved in marketing and also what inspired you to start Marketing Profs.
Well, I didn't start Marketing Pros, first of all, but I joined the founder. He was 2 years into it. It was just him, and he was Alan Weiss, who's the founder. He's a professor at the University of Southern California. So this is way back in 2000, 2002, 2002. I'd sold my last company, which was clickz.com, which is still out there. And I was just sort of casting around for something else to do. And so I reached out to Alan. In the meantime, after I sold clickz, he had started Marketing Profs. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, this is like who I am. This is what I do. I'm a content person. He's like, oh, content. I hate content. I love all this other part of the business. And so he and I became partners at that point. So that was 2002, which is, God, I can't even believe that. That was a lifetime and a half ago. Maybe a lifetime for some people here, but it feels,
No,
it's
not
like,
that.
it actually doesn't feel that long ago, but when I say it, it's like, wow, that's, we're heading on 17 years now. That's crazy, right? But it's the longest job I've ever had in the sense that it's the longest place I've ever worked, but it's also absolutely the best. And it's just opened up so many opportunities for me. And it's just, as marketing has evolved and grown and, social media happened, all these things have come up. So it doesn't feel like it's the same place anymore. It doesn't feel like I'm working in the same industry. You know what I mean? Even though I've literally been in the same industry since, believe it or not, 1997. So
Which is awesome. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. And that's so amazing. And
yeah.
we've got a question from Scott. He said, if you drifted away from Facebook, what did you drift to?
Oh, it's a really good question. Instagram number one. It's just funny that Jen is the sponsor of this because it's absolutely my favorite social platform lately. I just think it's a fun platform. It's a lot of fun to just be there and to build an audience there. And I think you interact with people in a slightly different way. So I like that component of it. But I also really love Twitter. I mean, I have two different Twitter accounts. One has 450,000, something like that.
Because you're a big deal. Mhm.
Yeah, and so I love Twitter as well, but I love the playfulness of Instagram more than anything else. Yeah, you're sort of seeing the scroll right there. Oh, look, there's
Yeah.
Mindy.
Yeah,
Mindy
there
Kaling.
is Mindy. So
Yeah,
speaking of Mindy, she was at Content Marketing World. We
yeah,
got to meet her,
she's
which is so
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah,
But Ian Anderson Gray is joining us, and he said it was so nice to finally meet you at Content Marketing
Yeah.
World.
Oh my God, Ian. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, he was in the back of the room during my session. Were you sitting on the floor, I think, Ian? Were you in the back there?
Well, and there were so many people. So I actually, let me put this into perspective really quick.
Yeah.
So at Content Marketing World, if you did not get in line to enter the room that Ann was speaking in early, like they were turning people away. And because of, I guess, the fire thing or whatever, they couldn't have people standing in the back. So they literally had to tell people,
Yeah.
and it was like 50 to 100 people, they could
Yeah.
not attend your session because
Oh, so
you
yeah.
you were so, and I didn't see any other session like that. Seriously. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
well, yeah. I mean, it's so my people. I mean, everybody there at Content Marketing World, one of my favorite events of the year by far. And I mean, I love that. I love the people there because it's, it is my audience. I feel like that event has a special place in my heart because it was one of the first places that I spoke. It was one of the first places that I talked about content marketing. Content Rules came out 10 years ago and almost 10 years ago, and Content Marketing World will be 10 years old in 2020. So as it's grown, my career has grown. My career as a speaker has grown. It's truly the place where I feel like I've had a lot of, I don't know, just like, what's the word? I've just had a lot of,
growth, maybe?
yeah, growth. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking of like milestones. That's the word I was
No,
trying to think of. Ugh, it's
there you
Friday
go.
afternoon. Yeah, milestones. It's like just it's been so gratifying for me to see the growth of that event because I can almost measure it. I can measure my own growth along with it. It's just so yeah. Plus the people there. I mean, the people at CMI are just fantastic people, and a lot of people here I've also met. Like Mike, I think I met you at Content Marketing World. Jen, you and I didn't meet at Content Marketing World, but
Yeah, we'll
in
consider.
in the
We'll
event
say.
space.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
totally. And so Scott, let's see, or actually no, it was Ian Anderson Gray said, when you say Instagram, would you make the distinction between feed stories or are feed versus stories? So do you like the feed, posting in the feed itself, or are you more of a story girl that
I
you
like
just,
them. I like them both. I use them for different reasons. I actually think that one of the benefits of stories is that it's actually a story, which I know sounds like an obvious thing to say, but I
yeah,
noticed that a lot of people use Instagram stories as kind of like, well, I don't want to put this on my feed and it's not really that great a photo, so I'll just put it on my stories. Like it's a lesser than channel within the Instagram, platform, I mean. And I don't think of it that way. I think of it completely differently than the feed. So the feed is if I'm posting to the feed or scrolling through a feed or whatever, I expect to see like a capture, like a moment in time. Like there's something significant about that moment. There's a reason why I'm sharing it. There's a reason why somebody else is sharing it. And then taking advantage of that opportunity to tell a little bit of story through the text. So that's one way of approaching Instagram. But I think the stories actually give you an opportunity to tell a story over a few different frames. And so I like using it that way. And I think leveraging stories as an opportunity to really start, tell the middle of a story and end a story just all at once. So it's not like this ongoing, hey, this is me walking down the street. Hey, this is 2 minutes later, doing this. I think instead having a strategy and a plan when you go into a story
yeah.
is a lot more powerful, and actually it's a lot more fun. Like there's so many, just it's a fun way to tell a story, and that's why I've really gravitated toward it, because it's so much fun to tell a story there with the different the different like stickers and things that you can little videos that you can create there. It's just a lot of fun.
Well, and you're so good at stories though. Like you're so creative and you curate them really fast. When I was messaging you on Instagram like Wednesday night, like
Yeah.
you was like so you're whipping them out so fast and you're so fun. Um and in the comments right now, hey guys, if you have questions, let us know. But they're all now talking about Content Marketing World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally, and they're trying to figure out when they're going to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is so fun. And then Stephanie Lou says, "I need to make it out to Content Marketing World." And if do you know Stephanie Lou? You should probably maybe. She's
Stephanie sounds like that's I feel like we connected on Twitter maybe?
I'm sure you guys are. She's
Yeah.
a live video expert,
Hmm.
and so she's awesome and she's amazing too. But yeah, we should make Content Marketing World a thing, guys, and because it's just truly an amazing conference. And let's see, who else do we have here? We've got a lot of other people that are joining us too. V said, "Hey, content boss lady." This is so true. And you know what's interesting about Instagram, really quick, is
Yeah.
we did have Jen on our show, and it's funny because I've noticed this, and I feel like most people have, or a lot of people, that my stories get like 2 to 3 times more reach and engagement than my feed post.
Hmm.
But Jen herself has found that her feed posts perform better. So it's almost like
Oh,
where
really?
your
That's
audience,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and it's almost like where
Huh.
your audience has learned to where you post, and so
Yeah.
that's, they Jen usually posts on her feed, so they expect that. But it was so interesting hearing her perspective on that and just
Hmm.
in general.
Yeah, that's so funny. Does she think of them as, no, I'll have to read her book and find out how she feels about this. But Jen's here, right? Is Jen here?
Yes, yeah, Jen's in here.
Yeah, so I'm just
Jen,
curious how Jen thinks about stories versus feed, or do you think of them in any different way?
yeah, yeah, Jen, we're going to have you answer that. And then
Yeah.
while you're doing that, and I want to know where you've traveled actually this past month, because you've been, I feel like, all over the place
Oh
and
boy.
really cool. Like, seriously though, like
Yeah.
I always see you, I'm like, oh my God, she's here, she's there. Like, how has your month been?
Yeah, this month actually hasn't been too bad. October was pretty insane. I mean, gosh, well, in October we had the Marketing Bros B2B Forum. Brian Fanzo spoke there before he jetted off to Arizona. I think that's where he
Yeah.
went. Um, so yeah, and that's our the Marketing Profs annual event. So that was a big deal. But I also was in Minneapolis that month, actually Rochester, Minnesota. Flew into Minneapolis and then found out that Rochester is not anywhere near Minneapolis, which who knew? Um, and yeah, I was all over in October. This month, I actually was in Floripa, Brazil, with an event, massive event, biggest marketing event in Latin America. 12,000 people. It's the biggest audience that I've ever spoken to.
Oh wow, that's
I was at the
amazing.
same event 2 years ago, and there was 8,000 people there. And then I thought that was the biggest event I'd ever spoken at. That was amazing. And then this year I was like, well, I went back and it's, you know, 2/3 or 1/3 larger. And I was just like, what? I mean, how did this even happen? Where are these people coming from? But fantastic event, fantastic people, and just, so funny. Speaking of Instagram though, so the thing about Brazil, which I realized when I was there, is that people are super into selfies. Everybody wants to take a selfie with you. Everybody wants to, that's their love language, I guess. And so that was a lot of fun because it's just their Instagram is massive in Brazil, and people are just super into it. So that was just sort of a fun look at social adoption there versus in other places, and definitely like Instagram is the jam.
Like, see, I'm a huge, so Twitter. I love Twitter, but I also have fallen like
Yeah,
in love with Instagram. I feel like it's
yeah,
the Twitter is more news, and since I was in weather, I fell in love with that. But
yeah.
I feel like Instagram is kind of the perfect blend of everything. And I want to
Hmm.
know, to everyone that's watching, what is your preferred social media channel of choice? That's
Yeah,
what I want to know. I think everyone's like, I'm always curious because some people absolutely love Twitter, and some people are just like, you know what? No, I don't like Twitter, or like they're all about Instagram, all of
hmm,
that. So
yeah,
it's always so interesting. And so Jen Herman did answer your question. So she says they're totally different. Stories versus feed. I agree with Anne. Stories should be a sequence and tell an actual story. They're a little more hair down and fun. The feed is definitely more permanent and content and
hmm,
more polished and should be more informative with longer captions, which,
yeah,
yeah, which I
yeah.
totally
Jen just said that better, but I agree.
yes, yes. Um, and so, and I want to spin this to a different direction. So,
Okay.
if you don't, those of you who are watching, if you do not subscribe to Ann Handley's newsletter, Anarchy, you need to. And I want you to tell us a little bit about your newsletter, how it's
Hmm.
evolved. It's an email newsletter, but this is something you're very passionate about, like Anarchy.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time on it. Why is it so important for marketing and for your content strategy?
Yeah. So yes, thank you. So I launched my newsletter Total Anarchy January of 2018, which really isn't that long ago, right? When you think about it. I'd never had an email newsletter that I published myself consistently. So Marketing Profs obviously has, a newsletter program. It's been a core part of our strategy forever. I mean, since I've been there, so since 2002. But I'd never really had my own email newsletter, and I started it specifically because I wanted an opportunity to connect directly with the audience, with an audience, and grow an audience myself. And what I realized is that the email newsletter is the only place where people and not algorithms are in control. And what I mean by that is when somebody opts in to sign up for your email newsletter, right? They want to hear from you. Like we're on Facebook Live right now. Like, and as people are interacting with this program, they're seeing Facebook, like they're experiencing us through Facebook. And so I think what's interesting about an email newsletter is that when someone opens up your email newsletter or your email on their phone or on their whatever machine they're accessing it through, they're seeing just you. So it's just it's a platform that you own, but it also feels like you, and it feels like a more intimate conversation. And so I think in marketing, the default is that we tend to use our email newsletter program as a distribution strategy. Like that's what we think that its purpose in life is. But I actually think that it's more important to focus on it as an opportunity to connect directly with one person in a place where it's a little bit of a sacred space. Being invited into that inbox is it's an opportunity that I think we don't get anyplace else. And so the bar is very high. Like if you're not providing value consistently, if you're not making it extremely useful to the person reading that email newsletter or interacting it in whatever way, then then they unsubscribe, right? You're gone and you can never darken their doorstep again. So I think that the bar is high there, and I think that's a very good thing. I think as marketers, we should be embracing that opportunity we have to connect with one person. And so that's a long-winded answer of saying that's exactly why I launched it, because I wanted to see what that would be like, and I wanted to see what email could be like in 2018, 2019, and now heading into 2020. Like, what are the opportunities look like? So that's part of it. The other reason why I started it is because, as Brian Fanzo always says, to push the damn button. And I feel like as you get further along in your career, the fewer buttons you actually push, right? So in 2002, I was the email newsletter for Marketing Profs. I haven't done the email newsletter there for years. I don't write it anymore. I don't deploy it. I don't put up articles that are linked to in the newsletter. So I don't do any of that stuff. I don't touch anything anymore. And I kind of miss that. And I missed it on an emotional level, but I also think that it kind of keeps you out of it. Like it's easy to get lost. It's easy to feel a little out of touch with what it's like to be a marketer on the ground, actually, trying to grow an audience, trying to interact with an audience, trying to communicate with an audience in an authentic, believable, honest way, relatable way. And so I wanted to really understand what that was like in modern marketing. So all that to say, that's why I launched the newsletter. And it turns out it's my favorite thing I do. And I love everything I do. So that's saying a lot, right?
And I love that it's your favorite thing you do. And I think everybody listening loves your perspective of connecting to one person, that it's so powerful. And Jen Herman was like, best name ever for a newsletter. Like Total Anarchy is amazing. And she also said, you said it perfectly. It's a sacred space and should be respected. And she loves your perspective. And then Scott Ayers said, my biggest problem is I sign up for too many email lists. I have that problem too, Scott. I never read any of them when they come in. See, I have that problem, so I need to actually sort through and obviously keep Total Anarchy and the Social Media Lab, and then that's probably about it. And we asked people what their favorite social media channel is, and Eric is a Twitter fan. So I love that Eric is a Twitter fan. I think that's awesome. We don't get a lot of those. Kelly loves Instagram, but sure preferred is Facebook. And YouTube, which I totally agree. We've got Deb here that says hi. We've got a lot of people here. Lisa is joining us. So we're actually live streaming on YouTube and Periscope at the same time. So we're kind of we've got Facebook Live. We're kind of branching out a little bit more, and that's probably going to continue. So I love this, guys. I love everyone's perspective. And so, Ann, you are the author of a couple of books, and I want to know, tell us a little bit about each, but what inspired you to write them?
First of all, writing a book is I've written about this in the past, but writing a book is like birthing a Volkswagen, You know, you know what I mean? It's really hard, and it's not very much fun. And so it,
Yeah.
it's fun to have written. It's terrible to write typically, especially when you're working on a big project like a book. It's a lot of effort, and it's not always clear that this is actually going to be worth it, you know.
Yeah.
But it is. And so I wrote both of my books, Content Rules, which I co-wrote with my friend Cece Chapman, and then Everybody Writes, which I authored on my own. But I wrote both of them because I felt like there wasn't anything like them in the market, and I felt like I had something to say, and I could say it in a unique way that wasn't already being said. Um, I think like the book to write is the book you can't not write. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
because it is a lot of work, and it's a commitment, and not only to writing it but also to marketing it. So it's not just about the production of the book itself, but also the marketing of it, and the just all of the that goes into it for years and years. And so yeah, I mean, it's like for me, I wrote both books because again, they were books that I couldn't write. And I always think about like what would it be like if I said, no, it's too much work, I don't want to do it. It's just I can't handle that. And then I saw the exact same book that was authored by somebody else on a bookshelf, like that would kill me. It would hurt my heart. And so that's what I mean by write the book that you can't not write, because if someone else wrote it, I would just be like, oh, I should have written that book, you know? So
Yeah.
that's the way I approach it, because yeah, I mean, I just in both books I feel very proud of, and I feel like they helped a lot of people. They helped advance an industry, and so I guess that's the other reason why I think it's important to get your voice out there, because it doesn't do you any good to not share your truth, right? To not show how you're experiencing, how you're walking through the world. So that's in part why I wanted to write those books too.
And Anne, you're so creative, not in just your writing, but your style, what you wear, how you present yourself on stage, like your presentations, like everything is
Yeah.
so creative. But what do you do if you get to a creative roadblock? Like, how do
Hmm.
resolve that? Um,
Huh. What do I do?
and I know Mindy, when at Content Marketing World, says she just
Hmm.
consumes more. The more she consumes, the more creativity kind of starts to flow.
Yeah, right. One of the things that Mindy Kaling said at Content Marketing World that I really loved, and I don't know if I'm going to remember it exactly. I have to think about this for a second. But she said something like she responds in two different ways when she reads something. For example, like if she's reading a script, or if she's reading, a piece of writing, or if she's watching a movie, or watching a Netflix, anything like that. Like when she has two reactions to it. The first is, wow, this is amazing. I really have to up my game, right? I
Yeah.
really have to get my butt in gear and do better work, number one. Or number two, the way she reacts is, ah, well, I could do that. That doesn't look that hard. I can produce something like that. And that resonated with me so hard, because I have the exact same response to any piece of creative work. So similar to like when what Mindy talked about is like if I'm reading something that's like I mean, it can even be like a really great blog post. It doesn't have to be anything particularly high-minded. But if I read it and it's just like I usually will have those two reactions. Like I really need to level up here, like to myself, I'm saying this. I really need to level up here. Or secondarily, I could do that. So I think there's something empowering about either response. And so my approach, I guess, is pretty similar to that. I also though just make time in my life to not always be in production mode, and so I think that there is this sort of sense of that we need to be producing all the time. I think there's tremendous pressure in content and social media to be that sort of person who's always working on something, who's always got something. But I do think it's also important to have these times, like times when you go fallow, when you just sort of let things rest for a little while. And I don't have any particular prescription for that, although like every summer I take off from speaking for the most part, for example. And that's not but because, I just want to goof around. It's actually because I really need that fallow time to recharge for the fall, when I typically will be introducing a new speech that will carry me throughout the year of speaking, So I think part of the creative process is that sort of fallow time where you allow yourself just like a field, like let things go fallow, let things not grow for a while, let it rest. I think that's equally as important to everybody actually as a creative professional.
I couldn't agree more. And I want to know, for everyone that's watching right now, what do you guys do to prevent creative roadblocks? Do you do the
Mm,
same thing? Do you just exercise? I love to exercise and just like get my blood, pumping. And that
mm,
usually like clears my head and makes me think of like all sorts of things. Jen Herman says those downtime breaks are so important. We need to
yeah.
recharge ourselves, which is something I tend to struggle with. I try to do everything and go, go, go. And then you realize, just taking a time, because sometimes I don't think I have enough time to
Hmm.
just kind of not relax and like recharge. But I'm like, if I just do that, then I'll be so much better and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
productive.
And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about just, at the start of this conversation about, social platforms. And, for me, Facebook was becoming one of those places where it was really hard for me to be everywhere and do everything, And so it was a conscious decision to do less, be fewer places, but as I've been talking about this fall, do less and obsess. So really obsess about producing quality content in those areas where I feel capable and I feel able and connected. So my email newsletter, Instagram for fun, Twitter is important, LinkedIn a little bit, but I had to let go of some other things. And Facebook became a casualty of that because if you're doing less and obsessing, that means you have to cut out some things, right? And so for me, that was one of those things. Doing less also means that there are other things that I can't worry about. So things like getting some help with some sort of tasks in my business life that I could easily hand off. So just like things like that. I had a moment about a year and a half ago where I just said, okay, like this is not working. I have too many things going on at all times, too many plates spinning, too many balls in the air, like whatever metaphor you want to use. And it was too much. And so I needed to just kind of have like a hard reset and then add things back one at a time. The things that like, to use the KonMari thing, like the things that truly brought me joy and that the things where I really felt a connection. And so having those moments where you sort of step back and think about what am I actually doing and then making sure that you're taking action on those things, I think is really important too.
No, I love that. And Jen said, for creative roadblocks, I let myself disconnect for a little while, doing something I love, time with my daughter, watching a movie, reading. And then
Mm-hmm.
once you find your happy place, her creativity rebounds,
Mm,
which I think is so true. And it's so important. And I feel like our go-go world just gets faster and faster. Everyone's trying to do so many more things, including
yeah.
myself, that I
Yeah.
even used the phrase like earlier this week, I feel like I'm juggling 10 balls at the same time.
Mm,
And so sometimes you just have to pull it back and do one thing amazing, and then other things start to fall into place, which I think is like so true.
yeah.
um, Now you are just the queen of marketing. I want to know, what is your biggest mistake that you see people and businesses make when it comes to marketing? You've talked to a lot of people at conferences. What's the biggest problem they have that you're just like,
Mm,
you have to think about it this way or do this?
that's a good question. Gosh, there's so many things. Which is not to say that people are doing things badly, but I was just thinking about there's things that I hear about. Um,
And while you're thinking, we have Veronica. She said,
yeah.
I disconnect by going for nature walks, leaving my phone at home, smart, playing with the kids, listening to music, and having coffee with a friend.
Oh,
Also,
Veronica Jarsky. Are you still drawing, Veronica?
oh yeah, I think she is.
She's an amazing artist.
See, I didn't know that, and I've been working with Veronica for
Really?
7 months. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't know
wow.
that. Veronica, thanks for telling me.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and I
I
want
saw
to,
Veronica at Content Marketing World. So Veronica and I used to work together at Marketing Profs, and then when I saw her at Content Marketing World, I was like, "Oh my God, so awesome!" I think I found out at Social Media Marketing World that Agorapulse had hired Veronica, and I was like virtual high five, like you got
yeah.
this.
So Evie says she loves a hot bath, glass of wine, or friends and good food. Yes,
All
we've
in the
got,
all in the tub together. That seems like crowded.
yeah, well,
The friends and the food and the wine
hot bath,
in the
glass of
tub.
wine, or friends and good food, or friends and good food. I
Oh,
read that.
oh, oh, or
Yeah,
see,
I know.
words, they tough.
Yeah, I know.
Um, so can we talk about Thanksgiving hats for a second?
We can talk about Thanksgiving hats. So, as you guys know, and that's are good too, Eric. I agree with that. So we, Ann and I were messaging back and forth on Wednesday. And so trying to find Thanksgiving hats, we ordered them on Amazon
Yep.
and mine came literally 12 minutes before the show. I got the knock at the door. So it's not a hat. It's a little headband.
So good.
And so Ann, we're waiting on Ann's. Ann's has been on the truck since 3:30 this morning.
And I'm obsessed with it. It just, I keep,
I know. And
I'm
so
waiting for a knock at the door right now.
I know. And I have a feeling it's going to happen before the end of the show. But thinking about this, it's going to come, Carrie. The hat is going to come. I believe in it. We do have a virtual hat just in case. But I believe it's going to come. I really, really do. And oh, there's the virtual hat. See, it's there, guys. It's been there the whole time. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, look. See, look how cool that is. This is why having Mike Alton as your producer, he can make magical things happen.
Yeah, it's really nice, huh? It's like,
yeah, it is really nice. It's not going to mess up your hair or anything.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
yeah. You take it off; it keeps you warm.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the hat, Carrie.
I kind of want to get my dog right now and put the hat on her, but
do it. Do it.
Snoring.
Oh, she's snoring. Yeah,
snoring.
I get
that. She'll be startled and she'll be mad at me. But.
Yeah, it's totally okay. So, Ann, you're an amazing storyteller. You're so awesome. You're an amazing storyteller. I'm so excited for people to join right now and see me wearing this.
I know.
I think
I really want mine to come. It's just so disappointing to me. So,
yeah.
Quick aside to that, as I was sharing with Mike and Jen before we started today, is that well, Ian's here, so maybe you can understand this too, Ian. But so many international people I'm connected with were like, what's a Thanksgiving hat? Like, Thanksgiving we get, but what is this Thanksgiving hat business? Like, people were just like, you get hats? Do you wear them at dinner? How does this work? So I had to do a whole explanation around Thanksgiving hats. So yeah, it's not actually a thing, but actually, I don't even know why it is a thing, because if you Google Thanksgiving hats, I mean, you get a ton on Amazon or so many places. So I don't really know where it came from, but it's ridiculous and kind of awesome. So
it is. It's like holiday sweaters. I'm about to call out Scott Ayers, our content scientist, who told us in a meeting this week that he has turkey hats for his entire family.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His kids really didn't want to wear them, but he made them wear them.
We do a road race here in my town. Has like a turkey trot kind of thing, like, just I think it's like a 12-mile run or something like that. And so almost the whole town shows up for it, and everybody dresses up for it. It's kind of nuts, and I love it so much because people wear turkey hats and turkey like aprons and just all these like weird things. People run with like oven mitts on their hands. It's just like
I love that. I've actually never done a 5K or any kind of run like that. I feel like that needs to happen.
No, it's good, because the whole point is you do that, and then you can because you're going to go home and just like sit around the house and just eat a lot of food and, drink a lot. And so it kind of makes you feel a little less gross about that whole thing.
I know. Oh my God. And I love Thanksgiving too.
We should do that, Jen. We should make Thanksgiving hats a total thing.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it. We will. And we're going to make sure that, like, if you hear a knock, Ann, you leave. You just.
Oh man, I know. I want my Handley hat. I really do.
Yeah. No, we're going to make it happen. So Ann, and also guys, we're like almost 20 minutes to the top of the hour, and Ann is incredible and amazing, has a very busy schedule, so she can't stay with us all day. So if you have questions for Ann, marketing questions, anything about her books, ask them now, because we're going to start running out of time. Now, Ann, I want to know, what is your best advice for marketing greatness? What is like the advice you give most when you go to conferences and people talk to you about things? What do people need to remember?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is focus, really. And I mean that both from an organizational standpoint, a business standpoint, as well as a personal standpoint. So focusing on what is going to give you the most return, number one, but secondly, what brings you the most joy? Like, what do you love doing? Because I think the two are equally important, right? It's not just about, well, we need to be on Facebook because it's where our audience is. Like, if you hate Facebook, then I don't know why I'm picking on Facebook, by the way. I really don't hate Facebook. But you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the thing is, like, if that's not a great fit for you personally, then it's probably not a good fit for your business either. Now, the one the one caveat to that, I do think is that I think it's really important for any business to have an email strategy, an email newsletter in particular. So if you hate doing that, figure out a way to do it that maybe doesn't involve you. So hire somebody to do that for you. And, the same is true depending on the nature of your business. Like I have a friend who has a Facebook business and sells almost exclusively through Facebook. So if she hated Facebook, that would be a real problem. But so, I mean, there's always the exception, right? The exception makes the rule. But that said, like, I do think that finding that one thing that you can focus on and execute on exceptionally well, I think is so key in 2019 and as we head into 2020, because we don't need more content. The world does not need more stuff, but what we need is quality, right? We need more quality content. And by quality, I mean what your audience will value, what the person you're trying to reach will value. And so I think to the degree which you can think through, what is that thing and how do we actually produce that in a way that's meaningful, that will make you be seen for all the things that make you relatable and amazing and awesome and all those things. So what's the way that you can convey that to your audience, I think is it like that. It's not magical, but I think so many companies are looking to do the right thing versus the thing that actually will deliver the most value and that brings them the most joy.
And I think that's so true because, people don't want to be sold to, marketed at. They want to
Right.
be, related to, make a connection. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about being personable and making them feel a part of something and helping them
Yeah.
solve a problem, getting to know them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I guess, with, I think with marketing, they're just like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. But they really don't think on how to personalize it or humanize it, because we're
Yeah.
all people, we're all going through things, and we all have busy lives. Why would it matter to us?
Yeah, right,
Um,
exactly. I talk a lot about, building trust, but also creating affinity, building affinity. And by affinity, I mean, so yes, do I trust you? I think is an important question on the minds of your customers when they come to your social channels, when they come to your website, when they're interacting with you in any way. But I also think the affinity piece of it is equally important. So, do I like you? I think matters a lot in business. Do you feel relatable to me? Do I feel like I see you, and do I feel like I am seen by your company? And so those things I think are really important, and especially in social media marketing, like using tools like Facebook Live, turning the camera around, letting people see you, interacting. Instagram, same thing. I think that's why those channels are so important. And so yeah, I think the issues of trust and affinity are a really powerful combination.
and we have a question from Eric Fisher. He says, what do you advise to those who say, I have to write in public for my marketing job, but I'm not a writer? And I kind of feel the same way. I feel you, Eric, on that a little bit. What do you say to them?
So if you have to, first of all, I would challenge the notion of anyone not being a writer, because I think, what does it mean to be a writer? It means you're a communicator. So I feel that there's a lot of people who self-identify as not being not a good writer when, I think the foundation of good writing is good, clear communication. So are you a good, clear communicator? And if the answer to that is no, then I think you've got some thinking to do. You've got some work to do on you've got some thinking to do internally so that you're able to convey your thoughts in a way that's relatable and that's enjoyable by another person. And so I think the writing piece of it is it's just a tool that you have. It's just a way to communicate. So if you physically feel like you're not a good writer, then be a good dictator. There's nobody who ever says, I've got talker's block, right? People say, I have writer's block, I can't write, but no one ever has talker's block, right? You're never stopped from speaking if somebody asks you a question. So, I think you need to kind of get over the notion that you're not a writer, because I think in our social media world, in this world that we live in, we are all writers. It's just a matter of getting some tools and some a foundation that can help you do it a little bit more effectively, which is why I wrote my book. So basically that was just a big product plug is what that was.
Yes, Eric, you need to get the book. I think we all need to get the book.
I'm pretty sure Eric must have my book.
Yes, no, absolutely. So let's see. Becky Brokman says, what social media trends are we going to see in 2020, in addition to video and live video streaming?
Can I just have, before I answer that, just a quick side note? So I looked down and this tool that we're using to record this, it says, everyone can see and hear you. And I looked at it quickly and the everyone I thought said Beyonce can see and hear you. And I was like, is Beyonce here?
Yeah, that would be
She is?
awesome. If someone
I was like,
can
oh
get
my God,
Beyonce on the show, Mike Alton, Godfather, get Beyonce on this show.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Can we make that happen?
Can we make that happen? Make Beyonce happen. Hashtag make it happen. Tweet this at Beyonce, Mike Alton, just to see. I mean, you never know, right? You don't know.
Produced by Beyonce. I love it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, so great. Beyonce can see and hear you. That's like the title. That's the title of my next book, I think.
Do it. Jen's like, boom, mic drop. And Veronica said, I've recommended everybody writes to a bazillion people. This is so cool. It's a great book. But yeah, so Becky is wondering social media trends.
Okay, so 2020. I mean, I think email is absolutely a trend, even though it seems old school. I don't think it is. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on with email. There's lots of ways to leverage email for social media and vice versa. So one of my favorite examples is the Daily Carnage, which is an email newsletter put out by Carney. They're an agency out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So what I love about what they do is that they have a pretty vibrant Facebook community called the Daily Carnage, named after the newsletter, not the agency. And in the Facebook community, the Daily Carnage, they discuss all kinds of marketing ideas, trends, insights, whatever. It's just a community of marketers. But the fact that it's named after the newsletter, and they do a great job of linking the two. So they're using the newsletter to talk about what's going on in the Facebook group. Like this week in the Daily Carnage group, every Friday, I think it is, they sort of do a rundown of that or some questions that people are asking. And then conversely, they do a great job in the Facebook group of talking about what's going on in the newsletter. So it's a fantastic example of using social to feed email and making sure that the two are integrated and not making it about your company, your product, your service, like not making it about about Carney the agency. Instead, it's about the audience because it's about the newsletter and it's about helping people in both places. So that's just like one trend that I see that I think that a lot of us could leverage increasingly in 2020. And it doesn't have to be Facebook. I mean, it can be anything, but I think finding those points of connection between the things that we're already doing, to me, if we could, that will help us level up. Because again, I think it's about, it's about slowing down, so letting go of some things, but also finding those points of connection between the things that we were already doing. And if there is no connection, if there's like a weird thing over here that isn't connected in any way, then that's the point where you can say, why are we doing that? How is that actually connected to the greater whole? I think there's increasingly a reason that we have to do that is because, or not have to do it, but I think there's increasingly an opportunity to do that because as we as companies and as people become more focused on the experience that we're delivering to our customers, so customer experience becomes more and more at the forefront. I think we want to make sure that all those connection points match, right? You want to make sure you're delivering this sort of seamless experience across all of your communication points, right? And so to me, it just makes sense to try to think about it more holistically.
And I love just how you just described it, because I think it's, making that connection and still like thinking about the content that you've already created and just transitioning that and building that connection with people and everything, like relatability,
Right.
all of that. I think it's so important. And Kelly Noble Mirabella said, I believe 2020 will be more focused on omni marketing, which I agree. And then Veronica asks, are you seeing anything new in content marketing that has excited you?
Let me think about that.
It's a good question. That's actually
a good question. God, I mean, so much. I find just content marketing just, I mean, to me, it's just really exciting in general. Well, one of the things that I think is a trend that I'm noticing that I think is really interesting, and I expect that we'll continue to see more of it, is that content marketing, since its modern inception, so last, 10, 11 years, something like that, has been, I think, almost skewed to the sort of top of the funnel, so skewed toward awareness and in generating interest and sort of working in that in that area. Like I think we're really good at using content to build brands and to generate awareness. But I also see companies using it internally a whole lot more. So, for example, using it to producing pieces of content to communicate with the sales team, for example. A company that I've talked to recently is producing a podcast by marketing just for sales to let sales know what they're doing. So
That's
I think it's a
awesome.
great example of thinking more holistically about content throughout everything that we're doing, and not thinking of it as a separate thing, because it's not anymore. I almost don't even think that content marketing is like its own little thing. It shouldn't be. I think it's actually throughout everything, and I think that's why we're seeing the customer experience be so important. Why omni-channel matters. Why all of that is kind of coming together, and I think it's because content. Like ultimately, it's because content is not a separate thing anymore. It's what we do. It's the newsletter. It's every point across the any way we're communicating with our customers.
I think you said it perfectly. And I think Stephanie Lou loved that question. And I love your answer. I don't know, you just kind of bring everything together and think of everything holistically. And so I want to know, and I've never been, and I really want to go to Marketing Profs, the event. So
Mm.
I want to know how long it's been around and what inspired you to do it. And, tell us more about it.
So the Marketing Press B2B Forum, this just was our 13th year. We've been doing it for a very long time. It's straight up business to business marketers. So it's this year in Washington D.C. a few weeks ago, we had about 1,000 B2B marketers. Next year we're November 3rd through the 6th in I was in Washington D.C. No, we're in San Francisco next year, other coast. We're in San Francisco next year, and probably about. I would love to get like 1,200, so I'm just going to go for, let's say it's 1,200 business to business marketers. And yeah, it's a fun time. It is one of my favorite things that Marketing Pros does, if not the favorite thing, but it's a fantastic experience, and I mean that word experience sincerely, because we focus really hard on delivering a great customer experience to the attendees, to everybody in the audience. But more than that, we also focus on individual marketers. Like we focus on the marketer self. So not just learning about tools and tactics and what's going on in B2B marketing and ABM and email and social and SEO and all the things that are part of our digital marketing world. Like, yeah, you get all that, and people who deliver on it, like Brian has spoken there. They kill it, right? It's fantastic. We find the
Yeah.
best possible speakers that we can. So that's good. But the other piece of it is that we also have a lot of opportunities to really feed your soul as a marketer. So, and what I mean by that is, we focus on you as a person. So we do things like a mindfulness session to start off the day. We do yoga. We had my friend Carlos Hidalgo this year just wrote a fantastic book on work-life balance and getting work-life boundaries in place. And so he gave an incredible talk at lunchtime on the second day about how he's done that and about how it's so important for us as professionals, just like we were talking about a little while ago. How do you create that kind of balance and those sort of boundaries in your life?
Yeah.
And he shared a personal story around that was just, so good. And so yeah, so it's helping you level up as a marketer, but I think more broadly, it's also about making connections with other people that can sustain you all year round, but also helping you, kind of feed your soul as a person, something that can sort of make you feel that, that you feel really good about your place in the world. And so that's a tall order, but it's something that I think that we do that other conferences don't do.
So I feel like everyone, I know we gave Content Marketing World a lot of love early
Oh
on.
yeah,
I feel
well,
like,
yes.
I know. What were we thinking? Like, it's a great
No,
conference, but
I love Content Marketing World. Believe me, it's like that, Social Media Marketing World, and Marketing Pros B2B Forum, like top 3 events of the year.
yeah.
So
But I feel like, guys, we need to share the love for Marketing Profs too. And do you have dates for next year?
yeah, it's November 3rd through the 6th.
3rd through the 6th, guys.
Yep.
November 3rd through the 6th, road trip to DC, right?
No,
DC?
San Francisco.
San Francisco road trip to San
Yeah,
Francisco.
make sure you vote early though.
Yeah.
Election day next year. So
Yeah. Oh my God, that's going to
that'll
be
be fun.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a crazy time. Oh my gosh, we're going to need that balance. We're going to need the
Yes.
yoga like
Yes.
more
Yeah.
than ever.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we are 6 minutes away from the top of the hour. So, and what I'm going to do is you can pop up on here with me, and we're going to talk about some news. So, I don't know. I'm
I'm
sure
gonna
a
go
lot.
check for my hat. Okay.
Yeah, check for your hat really quick. All right, guys. And I want to know in the comments if you've even signed up for it yet, but Wikipedia coming out with their own social media platform, which I think is very interesting. And I'm intrigued on how it's going to go. And they got, several hundreds of thousands of people signing up for it. And as you probably well know, it's a site that's similar to like a Facebook feed, but the content is prioritized by the date and time as opposed to how many people engage in it or what content that you engage with. So it's more focused on that. And the interesting thing is they vow not to run advertisement or sell user data, which I think, unfortunately, Facebook has been in the public eye this entire year and in the past about all of that. And so they're almost maybe seeing like if not if they can take over, but just seeing if they can grow a different social channel like that doesn't sell user data and doesn't have advertisement. Now, they said it's free to join, but there is currently a wait list, and you can bypass the wait list if you donate money to the site. As you know, when you're searching different things, Wikipedia comes up and they ask for donations. And they said the social will survive only on donations. So I think this is just, I don't know, it's intriguing, and I feel like it's a lot because I don't know about you guys, but keeping up with all the different social channels, it's kind of wild. And Jen Herman said she hasn't signed up. I'm eavesdropping on everyone else's experiences. So yeah. Oh, I love Evie. Yes, we're totally going on a road trip, right? That's definitely happening. So yeah, so that was one of the biggest things this week. So I might actually get on the waiting list because I want to see, just kind of peek through and see what's going on. But I would love to know yes or no if you guys are actually going to sign up and just see what it's all about. And then we're going to move on to Twitter. And they are announcing that they announced this week their new hide replies option, which I think this is awesome. So this is really cool. So the comment won't go away. So let's say you make a post and, unfortunately, there are a lot of haters out there and trolls, and it's just not a nice comment or just has nothing to do with the topic that you posted about. You can actually click and you have the option to hide the comment. Now, it doesn't go away because you can actually, people can still find it and double click, but it kind of hides it so people don't jump on that. If they see sometimes if people see like one troll or people hating, they'll jump on that hating bandwagon, which is never fun. So, and you can see right here, the way they're showing you how you do it, it allows you to just kind of hide it. So, people don't see it right off the bat. So I think this is a good thing. I want to know what you guys think about the hide replies. And I think this is all in an effort with all social media channels when it comes to hiding the likes, across Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And now, being able to hide replies. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bots, a lot of haters and trolls. And I think this is all trying to make social media a more positive experience for everyone. So, and Anne, did you get the hat? I just have to ask you quick. Yeah. Okay. So Anne, oh, yeah.
I would be wearing that hat. I would be rocking it right now. So
Okay. It's okay.
right now.
It's okay. You got to send us a photo though when you do get it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tag us on our story. So Anne, we talked about, and I don't know if you heard the new social media channel that Wikipedia came out with, which is interesting, like Facebook. Would you join that? So it doesn't have the algorithm like Facebook, where what you see is based on what you engage with and what what the algorithm thinks you want to see. It's all about the latest time and date. So it's in kind of chronological order.
Oh, interesting.
And there's no ads and they don't sell your data. So it'll only survive, Wikipedia's social channel will only survive based on donations. So it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole different And I'm wondering if it will survive. And so there's a wait list, but you can bypass that if you actually make a donation.
Oh,
So
is that interesting? Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm always intrigued by this, but yeah, there's the registration right there. So I don't know. I'm wondering, if people are going to actually jump on this or not. And we talked about Twitter. You can hide replies now. So if there's a troll, you can hide it so people don't jump on that bandwagon and just start
Hmm.
talking about random bad things. And I think this is a good thing for a lot of reasons.
So what we're looking at now, this is, I didn't hear about this. So this is from Wikipedia. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah,
Yeah,
this is
that's
Wikipedia.
interesting.
Yeah,
Well, I think, yeah, what's interesting about that is the privacy angle, right? Because I think that,
yeah,
that's what makes some of us nervous. And I also feel that, most of us are kind of like, yeah, like the idea of of our privacy, being compromised in any way. It's like it's terrifying to us, but there's also this sense of, well, what are you going to do, right? So there's great apathy as much as there is anxiety about it. And so, what I think is interesting about that is that it's saying, okay, if you have either one of those things, maybe what you need to do is think about this. So I think, I mean, I love the fact that they're actually thinking about, that they're actually like making that the conversation about privacy as part of their narrative. So that's interesting to me. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I think anything is worth checking out. So
yeah.
it doesn't mean that it's gonna last long term. But after talking to Brian Fanzo, I don't know if you're still here, Brian, but I did check out TikTok, and then I realized how incredibly addictive that was,
Yes.
and my God, it's amazing. And
It,
so,
it is amazing.
but I can't, because it's just, I could feel myself getting sucked into that, and I just was like, I don't have time for that right now. So again, if it's about curating your social presence, that's not one for me. But this is interesting to me, so I would be willing to check it out, adopt it. I don't know, but I guess it's always worth looking at.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. And unfortunately, one of Brian's not, he had to leave because one of his daughters, they've got like a Thanksgiving play. And
Oh,
so he's
that's
there
nice.
watching that. So there's a lot of Thanksgiving stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
nice. I wonder if he has
yeah,
a hat. Does he have a Thanksgiving hat that he's wearing?
you know what? I know he's got a Steelers hat. I should buy him one. I should
You
probably buy
really
him
should.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Will
that
you
that's
sign
gonna
my name on
happen.
the card too?
Yeah, I will. I will. I'm totally going to do that. That's going to happen. He's going to be like, Jen, what is this? And actually, he's going to have his daughters will be there and everything, so he's going to have to wear it.
Yes,
So
for sure.
yeah, we're going to make that happen. So it is 3 o'clock. So I want to actually jump to the trivia. And then, because I know, Anne, you've got a lot of stuff going on. So this is some silly, fun trivia. And I don't know if people know this or not, but it is trivia time. And for
Hmm.
those still with us, if you get both, so we've got 2 questions. If you get both of them right, you're in the running to winning either an amazing Agorapulse mug or an Agorapulse t-shirt. T-shirt or a mug, it's your choice. But okay, ready for the first question, guys? This is going to be fun and this is exciting. And I don't know if everyone knows the answer to this or not. So the first question actually relates to Twitter. Do you know what the name of Twitter's iconic bird logo is? The Twitter logo actually has a name. Now, we're not going to give you the answers during this show because, there are going to be replays and everything like that. But when you answer this, do 1-A, B, C, or D. So we know you're answering question 1. But what is the name of Twitter's iconic bird logo? Is it Gary? Is it George? Is it Larry? Or is it Barry? Which, Anne, do you know the answer to this?
I don't. No.
I didn't realize that had a name.
I kind of want to do like a sub question, a subset to this though, and say, do you know the answer to the marketing props? Do you know the name of the marketing props bird logo as well? Because the marketing props logo looks similar to the Twitter logo. It's a blue bird, although we had ours first. I just want to say that um, right at the start. So, but do you know
Yeah.
the name of him or her?
Okay, so guys, this is a bonus question, bonus round. There's going to be 3. So
And
what
the
is the
and the
name
winner
of the
for that
market?
will win a copy of Everybody Writes. How about that?
Oh my God, this is so fun. Yay,
Yeah.
guys. So, and you guys you've got the godfather of Agorapulse looking down on everyone right now. So Do not Google what the name of the Marketing Profs logo is. But if you do get it correctly, and if there's multiple, then we'll just kind of do the randomizer.
Veronica.
Oh yeah, yeah, Veronica. Veronica, I love you. You're
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, she's
I'm so glad you're
hilarious.
here right now. So if you know the answer to that, which was their logo came out before Twitter's, I think Twitter kind of really liked their logo and was just like, kind of steal that idea. So the name of the Twitter logo, and then also the name of the Marketing Profs logo, which I think is so fun.
But Veronica is disqualified from answering that because I'm sure she knows.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. Do not post it in here, Veronica. Don't. Okay. And then our last and final question, and apparently a lot of people do know the answer to the first one, which I didn't realize.
I
Like,
had no
you
idea.
guys, I don't know. I guess I didn't pay attention that much. Okay, so what percentage of people purchase a product that they've pinned on Pinterest?
Mm.
I think this is intriguing because Pinterest is for those people that are very creative. They're dreamers. They're trying to design something, create a cool gift, cook something. So, what percentage of people purchase a product that they pinned? Is it 61%, 68%, 76%, or 88%? That is the question. And so, when you answer this again, Evie said Mark. Is it? Well, actually, don't answer that until
That
afterward.
would be it. No, that's not it, but that would be funny.
Yeah. So no, it's not Mark. Oh, great guess though. So
Because
when
you
you
can't
answer this
spell marketing
though,
without Mark. Is that why?
yeah, that's true. It's very true. Is it Anne?
Oh, that would be funny. No.
Or is it Bun? Bun is a
Also,
new one. Bun is the bunny.
yeah.
You should have been to Content Marketing World. Everyone missed out.
Yeah.
When you answer this though, do 2-A, 2-B, and so forth, just so we know that you're answering the second question. And again, if you know what the name is of, oh my God,
She's here.
she is. Who
No
is it?
Thanksgiving hat, but this is Abby.
Abby.
Abba Ding.
Hi.
Abby, who's a
Oh,
little groggy because she just woke up, but
how old is
she's
Abby?
1,000. She's 1,000 years old, right? Are you?
Oh,
Yes, you are.
she looks like the
My nugget.
sweetest dog in the world.
She's my gal. She's
Okay.
my bestie.
So something that you guys need to know in Agora Pulse, we have a hashtag Team Dog or Team Cat.
Oh, you do.
And we do. I'm a Team Dog, but I want to know to everyone's watching, are you Team Dog or Team Cat while you're still thinking about the answers to these questions? Team Dog or Team Cat? I'm definitely Team Cat. Or Team Dog. I would have a cat.
She's
There are
startling.
some cats that my friends have that are kind of like dogs that are,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super cuddly, and there's some that want just to stay to themselves, and I'm like, no, but I want to cuddle. So Team Dog or Team Cat, you don't win anything, but you know what team you're on. And if you're Team Dog, you're on our team, Jen and Ann's team, which is awesome. Nikki
I'm
says
also
Team Dog. Nikki Lynn, yes. Do you
I'm
have
also
a
on
dog?
Team Bun because I have a backyard rabbit. For those of you who haven't seen me speak recently, probably haven't heard the story, but I do have a backyard rabbit who is another favorite pet of mine. So my outdoor pet and my indoor pet. Abby would be my indoor pet, and
Oh, nice.
Bun, my
I,
rabbit, would be my outdoor pet, who
I
is a
love
wild rabbit, by the way, not in a pen or anything like that. So
it. Pen is so cute, or Bun is so cute, by the way. Um,
Team Bun.
Yeah. Oh my God, love Team Bunny. And so Jen Herman is a cat lover, though. Jen. Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, and Nikki has two fur babies. That's exciting. Oh
yeah.
my God, I love that. Oh, you guys are amazing. So you
I
guys,
don't I don't buy into the whole the whole tension between cat and dog people. I think that, if you are an animal person, then you're my people. That's all I need to know.
see, yeah, I love that. There is, at my former workplace, there was a person there, a designer, that she has a potbelly pig, a big,
Oh,
huge potbelly pig
wow.
as a pet. And I don't know the backstory behind it, but it's intriguing. And they actually, like, he gets on the bed and cuddles with her, which is a very interesting thing.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, but
My favorite Instagram account to follow is Wolfgang. I think it's Wolfgang242.
okay.
He so it's this guy Steve out of, I think he's somewhere in Colorado. I want to say either Denver or Boulder, I forget which. And he adopts senior dogs from shelters for the most part. Like he has a bunch of elderly senior dogs, which is
Oh,
love him so much, and I love his sort of mission, and I buy into that, sort of personally as well, because I think older dogs are amazing. They're so great. But the other piece of that is he also has a massive pig who sleeps in a toddler bed in his kitchen
oh
named
my God.
Bikini. Bikini is the pig's name.
Oh my God,
Um,
that is the best pig's name
yeah,
ever.
but
That
he
would
also
never.
has chickens, and he has a turkey, and a rabbit named Stuart. So he has a lot of different creatures. So,
Oh my,
so awesome. Such a great feed to follow.
oh my God. Oh wait, what was it again?
I think it's Wolfgang 242.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's Wolfgang something. If you search for Wolfgang on Instagram, he'll come up. He's got thousands of followers. So
okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh my God, we are so like, I'm so going to stalk that and look at that.
Oh, so great.
And seriously, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much, everybody, for being here. This is so fantastic.
Like
So
literally, like everyone loves you and everyone was so engaging, guys. Thank you, like seriously, so much. So, and so obviously we have marketing profs, November 3rd through the 6th.
yes.
And you said we have to sign up early because there's a limit, right? Or is there not a limit?
Yeah, well, there is a capacity situation, but
Yeah. Okay, so we're going on a road trip. We're going to San Francisco. I'm talking to Brian about that,
oh,
like
baby.
literally as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, we would love
That
to have you.
that's happening. We have links to your 2 books, or all your books in the chat as well. Mike's been very diligent about
Oh, Mike
everything.
is so
Uh,
good.
I know he
So
is. He's
good.
like the best producer in Boss ever.
Mm.
All of that. And where can people find you? And what are you? Where are you traveling next? Actually.
So next I'm back in Minneapolis the week after Thanksgiving. It's my last trip of the year, at least my last work trip of the year. So
Woohoo.
that'll be nice. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, talk about fallow time. I love traveling, but it's nice to just sort of knock it on the plane for a couple weeks anyway. Um, so yeah, so there's that. And then if you want to keep in touch with me on a regular basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Ann Handley or Twitter, or sign up for my email newsletter. It's my favorite thing I do, like I said. So that's annhandley.com/newsletter. It mails every other Sunday morning, so it's not that frequent, not overwhelming. And I would love to see you there. And if you sign up, please tell me, you'll get an automatic reply from me that says, how did you discover me? Sort of what do you want to learn here, and let me know that it's from this show and it's from Jen.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Anne, I love you so much. Seriously, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much for having me.
And Evie said it perfectly. She's like, how can you not love Ann Handley? And I mean, literally, I feel like everyone feels that same way. And also a big thank you to Jen Herman, the Instagram expert who joined us and was kind of facilitating questions in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Thank you,
can
Jen.
follow her. She's amazing. Jens_trends. She's got a Facebook group too that you can also join. And, she shares a lot of different Instagram social media news. But also it's a great place, like if you're a social media manager, where you can like ask questions. So it's a great place to do that too. So Jen, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen. I'm really looking forward to reading your book too, Jen.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know. It's amazing. Like there's so much information in there. Both of you guys, like you become a better person just in general, like a writer, thinker, creatively, Instagram strategy, all of that between the 2 books. It's amazing. And also we do have our Social Success Summit 2.0. It's still going on. And so this is free to anyone. It's 27 speakers and sessions. All you have to do is go to agorapulse.heysummit.com. And basically, it's the best thing about a conference where you can binge watch those sessions as long as you want. If you have to stop it in the middle of a session, you can do that. And so these are going to be available through December 12th. And, you maybe don't need to watch all the sessions, or you can actually have your marketing team or social media team divided up amongst all of them and take notes and then share them together afterward. But this is like attending a free conference without having to leave your couch or your bed. It's
Wow, I love
perfect.
the ability to binge that. It's like season 3 of The Crown, right?
I know,
Like,
right?
just all there for you. Just take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Spend your weekend on the couch. I love it.
Yeah. So, and we did this for you guys because we want to help you out. We understand it can be, overwhelming with social media strategy. And I know personally, being like a sole social media specialist, a one-man band, it can suck sometimes doing different things. So we try to give you as much information as possible. And we do not have a show this next week, but coming up after that, we have the amazing Ursula Ringham. She's going to be Friday, December 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about all sorts of different things. She's ahead of their influencer program at SAS, and or at SAP, and so she's starting kind of a new role too. So we're going to have a really fun, engaging conversation with her. So tune into that 2 weeks from today. But with that said, you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. And cheers to you, Anne, and like just how awesome you are.
Thank you
And
so much.
like
Yeah.
seriously, like everyone was so excited. We had several meetings. Obviously, I was in earlier this week with the company, and everyone was just so pumped for you. So literally, people are probably not doing their work or meetings or anything just so they can watch you.
That's
So like
amazing. Thank you.
it's just
Well,
awesome.
anytime. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, bye
All
guys.
right. Thanks.
Happy
Bye.
Friday.